Right when I saw it, I was like, well, that ain't normal. Like, I was literally full of Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing something a little more personal today, but I hope that it helps some people out there and just brings some insight on an issue that a lot of people go through, but maybe they're embarrassed to talk about it. So we're gonna be talking about the FODMAP diet. This is a diet for people with digestive issues like me. I've been very open about my story online, so I want to share it with you guys and tell you if this worked for me, if it didn't, what did work, things like that. We're getting real personal today, but I'm an open book. So make sure you guys follow me on social media before we get started. You can find my links down in the description below. Leave a like on this video, subscribe if you want to keep hanging out with me, do your thing. But let's get into the real stuff. I want to start off by being honest about my story and just kind of give like a quick story and time frame of how things happened. So my digestive issues actually started in February of 2020, so about almost a year and a half ago. It happened on Valentine's Day weekend. I remember it randomly. I've never had digestive issues in my life. I've just always been very active. I've always had a flat stomach. I work very hard. I've had abs, you know, fitness is just a huge part of my lifestyle. So when I had a massive flare up, I was so confused as to what was going on. Now, bloating is normal, you know, ladies, our time of the month, it happens. Even eating and water can increase bloating. But I knew that this was not just bloating. This was a very painful experience for me. So I'm gonna show you guys some pictures of what my stomach looks like during a flare-up. As you can see, I genuinely look pregnant. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. I genuinely look pregnant. I'm not pushing out in those pictures. That is me just standing still. My flare-ups are extremely painful. It's honestly a pain I've never experienced before in my life. So this started happening, but then what happened was these flare-ups weren't going away. That was just me all the time. In 2020, I went to the emergency room 3 different times because of my stomach. I was not digesting food at all. And when I say at all, I'm not kidding. I was not going to the bathroom at all. And it got so bad that one day I was eating and my body would not digest the food that I threw it right back up. And I was like, this is serious. My body will not even break down the food because there was nowhere for it to go. My whole intestine was so backed up to a disturbing point. In the last year, I've been in the emergency room 3 different times. I've had so many tests done. I've had ultrasounds. I've had a colonoscopy. I've had 2 MRIs on a cyst that they found near my pancreas. I have been going through the frickin' ropes. I won't go into detail about all those because I could honestly talk about it forever. It's been a long year and a half of a lot of tests. But one thing that I have seen everywhere and heard about is the FODMAP diet. If you haven't heard about it, basically it's a diet for people with IBS or other digestive issues. When food is high in FODMAP, it's basically a different word. It's a bunch of words that are way too long for me to pronounce, but I will put it on the screen and you can try and read them yourself. But basically, it's another word for different carbs and sugars that people with digestive issues have a hard time processing. Our small intestine will not process these types of food with high FODMAP. So the low FODMAP diet basically just suggests foods that you should be eating versus the ones with high FODMAPs. So I thought, I am at an end here. I've had so many tests done. We still don't know the issue. I'm gonna try this diet. I started it about over a month ago now, and honestly, within the first week, I saw crazy results. What it is you basically cut out the high FODMAP foods, and you do that for about a month or so, cut all of it out. It is difficult. It's a strict diet. It's not fun. And then after, you start bringing one by one back in to see what triggers your flare-ups, like where you have difficulty digesting. Now, I have been gluten-free and dairy-free for a few years now, so that wasn't that big of a deal for me because I made that adjustment a few years ago. So that is the biggest one for a lot of people. It is very hard to, you know, adjust to that and find new replacements, but it is doable. Now, on top of that, there's all these things that I had no idea were hard for people to digest, like broccoli, cauliflower, onions, garlic, things like that that I would use every day in my cooking. Apparently, they can be very hard on the small intestine for people who have digestive issues. I had no idea. So ever since I started making these little changes, I have seen a huge difference. I'm gonna be putting pictures on the screen. This is not to brag or gloat about my body in any means. I'm just trying to show you guys how I went from looking 9 months pregnant all the time to this now. Now I still find that some days I will have little flare-ups and I'm like, what was it? And like I get all stressed out because I'm like, I am eating so clean. Like what is it that's triggering my body? I'm gonna give you guys the main things that I have personally. I know this is gonna be different for everyone, but for me, certain things that I gave up that I find made a difference, and then when I tried them again, I got a flare-up. Gluten is massive. Dairy has not caused flare-ups the way gluten has, so gluten is gonna be a no-go for probably the rest of my life. Other little things like vegetables, you wanna stay away from beans. Obviously, they are very gassy, they're very hard on the digestive system. Broccoli, cauliflower, onions, and garlic. Those are like the biggest for me, and I also gave up processed food. So I like a lot of lunch meat, gluten-free lunch meat, obviously. Love me some lunch meat. I've given that up. It's very hard, but processed food is just very difficult for some people to digest. So also, I am a huge lover of like dried fruit, like raisins, dates, and all that. And they say like dates are good to help you go to the bathroom. Apparently not when you have digestive issues. Apparently it can actually be a lot harder for your body to break down these dried fruits like dates and raisins. So I've had to give them up, and I'm telling you, I eat them every freaking day. So those are personally the things that I have realized trigger flare-ups within my body. But one thing that has been life-changing is it was so bad for me that I was relying on laxatives to go to the bathroom. Now, I'm not trying to be like too much information. I'm just trying to keep it real. You know, this is a normal thing. I'm trying not to be embarrassed about talking about it. I was relying on it. There was a time, like right before I started the FODMAP diet, I had 4 days worth of laxatives. I was supposed to take a natural one called Senecot every night at bed. I had 4 days worth of laxatives and I had not gone to the bathroom, okay? Just think about that. How many laxatives are in my system at that point, and I've seen no bowel movements. The ultrasound literally showed my intestines were so backed up because everything was moving at snail's pace in my intestines. Like, that can't be good. Right when I saw it, I was like, well, that ain't normal. Like, I was literally full of, like, literally though. So the biggest and most exciting change for me is with the FODMAP diet, you do not take any of those. And the point of the diet is that it will help increase and allow your body to start basically forcing itself to break down those foods and have a natural bowel movement. And that has happened for me ever since I started this diet. My body is starting to break down foods on its own. I have never been so happy. Now, introducing these things back in does get a little daunting because when you have flare-ups, because you're trying it out, you have a flare-up and then you start like doubting it, and then you start getting frustrated because you're like, I finally felt good again. So it can be very hard on your mindset. Mentally, it can be very frustrating and draining. But if you are having any type of digestive issues, I just wanted to share this with you. You are not alone at all. This is so normal. I've had so many people on social media like reach out to me and talk to me about it, and they've shared similar experiences. It has been so heartwarming to just know that I am not alone. A lot of people go through this. So if you ever have any questions, talk to me on Instagram, write comments down below. Unless you want to keep it anonymous, just shoot me a DM. And as for the FODMAP, I am still in the early stages, but I have a lot of positive things to say. Yes, it's a hard diet. It's a lot of, you know, sacrifices and dedication, but for me, health comes first. Health and happiness, and I have been absolutely miserable in the hospital for a year and a half doing all these tests, no answers. It's just been so draining. It just feels really good to find something that has worked for me. You know, it's a healthy diet. You're still eating as much food, you're just replacing it with other things. It's not a weight loss diet by any means. It's just for people with digestive issues. So I hope this has helped you guys. Leave a like on this video because I would really appreciate it. And if I should go more into depth with this, like recipes or what I do with my FODMAP diet, like I would love to. There's just a lot to cover, obviously, and I'm trying to keep this video somewhat short. So let me know what you guys want to see next, and subscribe to keep hanging out with me. I'm getting out of here though. Remember, you are beautiful. You are never alone. No matter what your issue is, you are never freaking alone. Sending everyone love and happiness. I'm just in a happy mood today. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.